Luther! Diego!
Skip, you're right. What the hell did we do now?
It's a pretty big departure from season one in some ways, and I was kind of wondering what you both first thought when you read the script.
Well, we tend to get a bit of a rundown of the season from Steve Blackman, our showrunner. So we kind of got that before we got the script, really, which I thought was really exciting because obviously it was a nod to the comic, the second comic, which I really liked. And secondly, I just loved the fact that it's going to be taken out of the Umbrella Academy world, that the only world that we've sort of seen so far, which is them inside the house and around that town. We're now taking them into this whole new world where they're going to be tested in loads of different ways. And it was really fun to see them all having to kind of like Luther, for instance, he's grown up and only exists in the Umbrella Academy. This is the only thing he's ever known. And he's gone through this whole kind of drama in season one of finding out that his dad sent him to the moon for no reason and all this changes in his body. And then he gets thrown into a 1960s Dallas where he's actually got to survive on his own now. And turns out that his body and the things that have gone wrong from him in season one are actually the things that make him sort of thrive a little bit more in this world that he ends up in Dallas. So he ends up kind of becoming a weird little hero.
Yeah, they have to, with no money in their pocket, nothing. Through a series of odd circumstances, I ended up recently in Paris for about 4 or 5 hours, with absolutely no way to pay for anything. Quite recently there, like last week, and it was just really it brought this really interesting energy, this sense of, all right, well, how am I going to get a sandwich, or how am I going to get a cup of tea, or how could I, with no access to money via an ATM or anything.
Had to live by your wits.
To live by your wits, and it's not something that people are particularly adept at because, thank God, in a way, most people haven't had to live their lives that way. But I think that's what the siblings are kind of dropped into, eh?
Obviously, there's a lot of weird and wonderful moments this season, some kind of crazy scenes that you're both involved in. I mean, what were each of your favourites? I know that's kind of a trite question, but I feel like with a show like this where things are so unusual, it probably is possible to actually have a favourite filming experience or, favourite scene.
Mine this season was the whole kind of section between Old Five and Little Five, and Luther being caught in the middle. I think that was certainly the most fun I had this season. It was a really fun storyline to shoot. And also I love the dynamic between Five and Luther, because obviously he's so small and I'm so huge that he's by far the more intelligent. So I just kind of really enjoy that dynamic between
it's
the
like
characters.
Pinky in the Brain.
It is so Pinky in the Brain, yeah. That's exactly it.
I never understood why Pinky was a Cockney. I think it's because probably at the time when the cartoon came out, it was easier to make him a Cockney. Was more like it was sort of stupid because it was to do with class, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, it was most likely an American playing a Cockney as well.
Yeah.
Which tends to sound more stupid. Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke, yeah. The most notorious of the Cockneys.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose like Tom, I sort of like when I'm thrown into a situation with unique ingredients, new challenge. So there's a bit throughout episode 6 and 7 where I, as an actor, kind of have to play Ben.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great, all that stuff.
A fairly healthy sequence, isn't it, Tom? It's like, it's an episode's worth. And
it's such a great moment when you're walking through barefoot and you're taking it all in. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you really feel like there's a lot of sexy grading and sound design and editing. It's really making my performance seem far more well-researched and prepared than it was.
All right, quick rundown. Luther, super strength. Klaus can commune with the dead. Allison can rumor anyone to do anything.
Except she never uses it.
I heard a rumor. You punched yourself in the face.
God damn it!